Anywhere close to Highway 35 and County Road 8, that is where this tornado is on the ground. Again, we talk about tornado warnings. Sometimes it's for rotation. Sometimes it is for the possibility of a tornado. In this sense, a tornado is actively occurring on the ground. It is visible. It is illuminated by lightning. And in this case, the community of Knox included in a tornado emergency. Aaron, let's inform viewers, what makes a tornado emergency different than a run-of-the-mill tornado warning?
Yeah, a tornado emergency, there are 3 levels of a tornado warning. You have a tornado warning, particularly dangerous situation we've been seeing a few times. A tornado emergency is issued in very rare circumstances. They are issued for whenever there is a large, dangerous, potentially life-threatening tornado moving into a populated area, and according to the National Weather Service, this is a life-threatening situation. You need to do everything you can to get into the interior room of your home, get into the basement, storm shelter, whatever you have. This is potentially a life-threatening situation.
Let's show the video that we've gotten of this storm as it moved through Kankakee once again, just to give viewers a sense of what this storm did in the past. You're seeing this on the left side of your screen. So Kankakee, if you are not familiar with that community, it is south of the city of Chicago, and this was one of the first communities that saw this intense tornado, and the damage that we're seeing coming in from Kankakee is pretty intense. You've got numerous trees down, you've got windows blown out of cars and buildings that are sustaining damage at times. This is the same thunderstorm that moved through Kankakee. It has moved through northwest Indiana, and it is now in Michiana. Again, this is just one particular thunderstorm, but it is enough of a thunderstorm that it is likely going to cause threat to property, threats to human life, and it's going to continue moving and bring that potential for damage. So let's bring radar back up, talk about where we're seeing the threats, and create a little bit of a wider view while we're waiting to get some updated information with this storm. So the tornado warning itself is for Stark County. It goes until 9 o'clock Central Time. And then we also have a severe thunderstorm warning for LaPorte County, Marshall County, St. Joseph County, and Stark County. Here's kind of the latest information, the latest trimmed warning with that. Again, it goes until 9:15 Central Time, but the tornado itself, the tornado warning, goes until 9 o'clock. It's for the southern portion of the storm, the part that's just to the north of Knox. That is where the tornado is likely occurring. If you are south of Knox, you do not have the threat for this tornado or even the rotation. But when we have this wider view, you can get a sense that Groverton, for example, is likely going to be in the path of this storm as it moves closer to your community. So let's put a storm track on this where we're at right now, Aaron. Let's try to include Groverton. Let's try to include Plymouth as well, because those are communities that, specifically Plymouth, for example, you're not in this storm path quite, you're not in the warning of this storm right now, but you're in the path of this storm, and you'll likely see that storm within the hour. So you could see Knox pretty much right now is where that storm is moving. But you include Plymouth, and that is looking to arrive at 10:28 p.m. for the city of Plymouth. If you are west of Plymouth, you have even less time to prepare for this storm. So let's clear that storm track off of there. Let's put the rotation back on this storm, the velocity specifically, to look at where the storm is seeing that spinning motion and go from there. So here is Knox. You can see that on the map. Just northwest of Knox is where we're seeing that rotation in the storm. In fact, Aaron, let's draw where we're seeing the circulation on this map. Maybe it's a little bit difficult for some of you to pinpoint where that rotation is. It's pretty much, you're looking for areas where the red colors and the green colors come together and create a little bit of a funnel. So right there where Aaron circled, that is where we're actively seeing that tornado occurring. And then that broader red and green that you see is where that thunderstorm is rotating and where it's spinning. As this storm moved through Kankakee and moved into northwest Indiana, there were reports at times that this tornado had multiple funnels with it. And so we need to take a threat like this extremely seriously, because there could be multiple funnel clouds and multiple tornadoes occurring at once within this particular parent thunderstorm.